Hey everybody, just wanted to say hello as we begin our first official episode of the, I don't know what we're going to call it. Maybe you guys can comment below what we should call this. But so obviously I'm Chris Lagarde, one of the founders of the Chris and Caleb team.
I'm Caleb Connect, co-founder of the Chris and Caleb team.
That's right. So I thought for the first episode of this, we would kind of give the story about how our team got started and what we're all about and what kind of sets us apart from maybe other options real estate wise. Plus, from a mission standpoint, the more that we can kind of get our mission out there, the more we can actually accomplish it and change lives through it. So our mission is to dramatically impact lives through real estate. So both of us kind of come from similar stories. Caleb, why don't in 60 seconds, why don't you kind of share how you came to real estate, and then we'll kind of share our how we got together.
So every superhero has their origin story. So this is our origin story, though it's not going to be nearly as interesting as this would be.
Yeah.
So anyway, how I got into real estate, I kind of backed into this profession, to be honest with you. I didn't really choose it; it kind of chose me almost. So my mother, Lori Connect, has been a real estate agent for, 30 years, something like that, a really long time. And I grew up around her on the phone all the time, talking, and I was like, man, I wouldn't want to do that. So anyway, I fast forward, I went to college, went to Westchester University, got a degree in marketing, and graduated, and just like a lot of other folks, had no clue what I wanted to do when I was graduated, and looking for some different job opportunities. I interviewed at a bunch of different places, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get a job in marketing. And all the jobs I was interviewing for were sales jobs. I didn't want to be in sales. And so I gradually, after I went through interview after interview after interview, and all these jobs were sales jobs, I kind of thought, well, if I'm going to be selling something, I might as well sell real estate, which at least I found interesting. And everybody wants it. You don't have to convince somebody that they want to buy a house, right? They want to buy a house.
That's right.
So my mom said, why don't you get your real estate license? You can join my team, and if you like it, great. If you don't, you can always move on to try something else. So that's what I did. I actually had gotten really interested in real estate from reading the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which is a great book on investing and just thinking about money and wealth in a different way. So that got me excited about real estate. I was more excited when I got my real estate license about investing in real estate than I was in actually selling real estate. And so eventually got my license, ended up working on a team as a buyer's agent with my mom, and did that for about 2 years with very limited success. I sold 2 houses my first year. I was bartending and waiting tables, so that was paying the bills. It didn't really make that big of a difference. So then by year 3, I started to really build some momentum and started to figure out kind of what I needed to do to have some success. And once I had some success, it became fun, and I enjoyed it.
So my story's not too dissimilar. However, I did go to school for graphic design, a little bit different. Never really ever wanted to get into sales. In fact, I remember telling somebody specifically, I never want to do sales. And it's funny because I don't think what we do is sales. Part of it is, but from a helping client standpoint, we're not convincing them to buy a home. The home either works or doesn't, or the home is going to sell or not. We just counsel them along the way, give them the information they need to make a good decision.
A good realtor is almost like a real estate coach, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it.
Not sales.
And that's definitely the way we see ourselves. And so getting into the business, the reason for me was also very similar, to get into investments. A friend of mine had a lot of investments and was like, dude, you got to do this, but it wasn't the time. Eventually I did get my license thinking I would get into investments, but ended up joining a team here in the office, the Cindy Dickerman team, as a buyer's agent, as well as doing marketing. And I also did not do a lot of business. I think I did maybe 6 to 8 deals the first year, so I did beat you.
You quadrupled my production the first year.
I did, and then, but the first 3 years were...
It wasn't that hard to do.
No. The first 3 years were a struggle, and I actually at the time had our first child, with a second one on the way, and it was just a really tough situation. That kind of all changed. Well, we had met, I think, in my first year of the business, and we started doing accountability. Just weekly check-ins with how you're doing with your numbers and certain critical number checkpoints. But that all changed when this program called BOLD came along. It's a program that stands for Business Objective Life by Design.
The best way I can describe that class is it's almost like P90X for your real estate business.
Yeah.
It's getting you out of your comfort zone and getting out there and really taking massive action.
Except you don't develop big muscles. So
I did. Maybe you weren't doing it right.
Right. No, I wasn't, I'm sure. But I took that in summer of 2009 and had really, really good results. And Caleb, followed afterwards. I think it came around maybe 4 months later, 6 months later. And
Well, yeah, we were meeting for weekly accountability, and all of a sudden Chris's numbers just started blowing mine out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Before we were just kind of like neck and neck, pretty much doing around the same amount of production.
Yeah.
And once you took BOLD, I just saw a massive change in your business, in your mindset, and I was like, I got to get some of that.
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting because BOLD's coming up. I think the first step is next week. So if there's anybody watching this in the business that wants to join us there, please let us know. We'd be happy to direct you on where to sign up. It is a life-changing program, both in the business as well as outside of your personal life, outside of the business. So after that was in 2009, Caleb and I, realized that there were some things that we would like to do differently than what we saw everybody else doing in the real estate business. A lot of that was following systems to create big results and create dramatic results, as well as help us take care of clients at the very highest level. And we didn't really say it this way in the beginning, but change lives, dramatically impact lives through real estate. And so in 2010, March of 2010, we decided to start officially the Chris and Caleb team. And we did 50 deals the first year, 50
Around
deals.
50, yeah. 49, I think maybe.
Yeah, and 51 the second year, something like that. And one of the things that really made the difference, so as we grew our business, was leverage through people, succeeding through other people. And I think that's one of the things that really sets us apart is what we look for in team members to come apart, be a part of the team. So how would you describe that, Caleb? What's the type of people that we look for as far as team members?
We have our core values, which are really important to us.
Mm-hmm.
So our core values are gratitude, responsibility, fun, respect, and what's the one there?
I know, we're blanking on the last one. Yeah, integrity.
Integrity.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
So,
But that's great. I think a lot of businesses out there have core values, have mission statements, and that's wonderful. I think when you have core values, you can kind of use that as a filter for who you're going to bring into your business.
Yeah.
So when we're talking with people and saying whether they're going to be a good fit on our team and whether they're going to be a good fit in working with us, we kind of say, all right, do they check these boxes in terms of our 5 core values? And when they do, the chances of them being a good fit and us being a good fit for them is much, much higher.
Mm-hmm. And what we look for is somebody who's going to naturally excel in the position. So if there's a seat on our bus that's open, and we want to look at who they are naturally, what gifts, what skills, what talent, what experience they have, and say, is this a natural fit for them? Because then they're going to stay in that job longer, they're going to enjoy it longer, and we're going to dramatically impact their lives as a team member of ours. And so, helping, just with the goal in mind of helping everybody understand what does set us apart. And so we've been very diligent in that, trying to recreate who we are in the team members that we hire. And it's
we don't want to exactly recreate
No.
who we are, because that would be a mess. We want to look for people that complement us,
That's
and
true.
Areas that we're weak, they're strong, and that sort of thing. And that's really what makes a successful team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people use the word synergy. It's kind of a buzzword out there, but the true definition of a real team is the sum is greater than the parts, and that's really what we're looking for. So and when we talk about dramatically impacting lives through real estate, we want to dramatically impact our clients' lives. We want to dramatically impact the people that we work with on our team. We want to dramatically impact their lives as well, change their mindset, show them what's possible in this business and in their lives, and affect change, positive change.
And I'll also add to that, we want to dramatically impact the communities that we're a part of. Right now it's Chester County that we're a part of, but hopefully pretty soon we'll be branching out into other communities. And one of the ways we're doing that right now is partnering with a community center in Coatesville called the Bridge Academy and Community Center. Their banquet's coming up in a few weeks, and just being a big part of that, because they dramatically impact the lives of folks in their community in Coatesville. And I've personally, we've all on the team have seen lives have been really changed through that organization, and it's really exciting to see. And we want to do more of that. Good Works is another one we've done a little bit of, helping out people whose homes they can't afford to repair and they're in bad condition, and that's very rewarding as well. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to our story that we're not.
No, I think we're good. We got to wrap it up. We can't keep these people too long.
Right. Everybody's got important things to do. But if you have questions about the Chris and Caleb team story, please post a comment on there. We'd love to answer them, and we will. And it was great hanging out. We'll see you next week on Thursday at about 2:00. Thanks.